1 weekend a year, nearly 1,000 military veterans assemble in a camp in San Diego. What brings them is what they have in common. They're all homeless. The vets gather for something called Stand Down, started in 1988 by a soldier-turned-psychologist named Jon Nachison. Then it was an emergency response to homelessness among Vietnam vets. But 23 years later, Nachison is welcoming the generation from Iraq and Afghanistan. Stand Down is a 3-day campout that's part jobs fair, part health clinic, part sobriety meeting. The name is a military term for the time when a soldier can put down his weapon and stop fighting. The homeless go for a shot at redemption. We went to understand why so many people who've served their country find coming home so hard.
Hey, good morning, you guys. How you guys doing? We're going to have a great stand down this year.
It's a Friday morning in July. Jon Nachison is greeting his troops.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey.
Homeless vets and their families who'd waited all night to get in.
We are going to open the gates. Let's do it. All right. Come on.
They were literally a battalion, 947 men, women, and children.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to Stand Down. We'd like to give you a breakfast bag and something to drink.
All right. When people come in, they're instantly transported back to the military, a time where they wore the uniform, where they were proud, where they were walking tall.
You want them to remember a time in life when they were proud of themselves.
I want to evoke that person in them.
Nachison does that by putting them inside a military-style base on a San Diego high school athletic field. 30 tents. Here, there was hot chow, warm showers, clean clothes, and fresh hope. So who can you save?
People can save themselves. I can't save anybody.
You don't expect a miracle to happen when they come here for 3 days.
Oh, I do.
You do?
I do.
You ready, sir?
Yes.
Have you step forward?
The chance at that miracle came with over 3,000 volunteers.
How are you doing today, Mr. Lamont?
There was medical care, dental care.
Please remain seated and come to order. Court is in session.
And even a court where they could clear tickets for loitering or sleeping on the street.
The matters that are currently pending are dismissed with people's motion. You're welcome.
Why are these people on the street?
It must be some gap that exists between military service and becoming a civilian. You're told what to wear, you're given everything, and then suddenly you've lost your entire family, you've lost your identity.
You think some people fall through that gap between military life and civilian life?
And for some people, it's a chasm.
All right, Mr. Worley.
It was a chasm for Charles Worley, who served with the Marines in Iraq. He's still in the reserves, subject to being recalled. We mistook him for a volunteer until we heard this.
How long have you been homeless?
A few months, about 6.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
Okay.
Worley left the Marines in 2008 and joined the Great Recession. Where did you sleep the night before you came here?
In Old Town Park down in San Diego.
He hadn't imagined that leaving a war could be risky.
I got used to the structure and was having a hard time adapting to civilian life because if you change commands or you move from job to job in the Marine Corps, they give you a checklist.
Life gets pretty simple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's, they say turn right, you turn right as fast as you can without bumping the guy next to you.
Without a checklist, Worley burned through the combat pay he'd saved before he looked for a job. Unemployment among these young returning veterans is double the national rate, about 20%.
Hey, man, how's it going?
It's a familiar story for Jon Nachison, who, as a clinical psychologist, has been working with vets for almost 30 years. It's a new generation of homeless veterans.
It is. This group is becoming homeless quicker than the Vietnam veteran. Vietnam vets came back. It took about 8 to 10 years before we started really seeing them on the street, homeless. This group is coming back, and within a year, they're ending up on the street. For many of them, it's these redeployments again and again.
Over the last 9 years, 800,000 troops have been redeployed, sent back to combat at least once. Getting redeployed 2, 3, 4, even 5 times, why does that make a difference?
When you go back and you're re-traumatized, it also brings up all the old stuff. Go back again, and it layers over the top of that. And so now we're getting to the point where it's going to be difficult for the person to function.
2 million troops have already served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Already, 250,000 troops have asked for mental health treatment. The troops that are going to come back from Afghanistan and from Iraq, is this country prepared for that?
I don't think so.
I mean, this stand down alone.
Oh, yeah. Saturday morning, we met Marguerite Summers and learned about something else that's new. There are more women among homeless vets because women now make up 14% of our forces. Summers is a former sailor who served until 1999, and she too had trouble making that transition from military to civilian life. Shortly after getting out of the Navy, she got divorced and began drinking. Now, homeless 3 months, she is desperate for help with her alcoholism and meth abuse.
I have more potential than that, and I don't want to waste my life anymore. I'm tired of it, and this has given me new hope.
You said that you'd lost everything and your family.
I lost my son a year ago because of my abuse issues. I owned a home, I lost that. I lost my family's support. I lost my job. You know, I was facing prison time. Just nothing good came out of it.
Addiction is a big reason some vets remain on the street for years.
My name is Woody, and I'm an alcoholic and a combat veteran.
As we walked around the camp, we found some of the reasons that homelessness among vets is a chronic problem, with 250,000 on the streets last year. A lot of it is addiction and debilitating illness.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, we need everybody in this picture. Come on now, everybody in this picture.
Sunday afternoon,
Ready? Yeehaw!
stand down ended with what they called graduation.
Come on down.
Left, right, kilo!
They marched with military pride for one last shot of self-esteem.